And welcome back to the Profile Pod. I'm your host, Double A, back for another spectacular episode of the pod. As you can see, we are in a different location here. We're on location here at with my man Rick Gamboa, and for Platos Pro. We're going to get into everything in just a few moments. But before we start everything, I just want to give everyone a thank you for supporting, for showing love on Instagram, on all the social media outlets, YouTube, Facebook, everything. Man, it's a joy to see that people appreciate what we're doing here. And so I want to thank everybody out there for showing love. And uh, it's always a pleasure connecting with all of you out there. Um, let's go ahead and get into our brass tacks here. This is the show. This is the podcast that brings on individuals doing extraordinary things in life to inspire us all. And we have a gentleman here doing big things. He's been in the game for a long time as an inventor. He's an entrepreneur. He's been in education for the majority of his career. He's done many things, man, and someone that I admire because I'm a my background is football. My background is a little bit of some entrepreneurship as well, and so I look up to him as someone who's been there, done that, and who's now doing something on a bigger scale. So, and that's what we're here to talk about. This gentleman is the CEO, owner operator, CEO. He wears many hats for Platos Pro, a venture that he just launched recently with a few other partners, and he's here to talk all about it. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Rick Gamboa. Rick, how are you?
Wonderful, and thank you. I was going to say AAA, but then that's my car insurance, But double A. What is that? Double A.
Well, double
NCO. What is that?
Double AMCO. Yeah, I used to go by Andy Anatomical.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, obviously it's a mouthful, right? So when I said I need to abbreviate that, I need to shorten that up a little bit,
okay.
because yeah, it's an anthropological term, right?
Okay.
Anatomical. So I said, you know what about double A? Just
Double A.
It came to mind, and
Good. It fits.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you for allowing us to come out and talk about Platos, our new venture. And thank you for the audience for listening. And hopefully we'll be able to convey some information that's interesting, enjoyable, and useful. And thank you for allowing us to be on your platform. This is wonderful. We really appreciate the opportunity.
You're welcome, Rick. It goes both ways, man. It really does because, like I say, I bring on individuals on this platform who are inspirational, who are going above and beyond, who are doing things to again inspire us all, man. And that's the bottom line. And so thank you for being that one of those who's doing that, and facilitating and setting the trend. Thank you for letting me come in to your home here, your beautiful home, and record. And big shout out to Rick Santillan, who's in the background there, who's behind the scenes, and he's always doing his thing behind the scenes, right? He doesn't. But we'll get you on camera soon, Rick. Right?
There you go. A flip of the camera, and you're on. But yeah, as a matter of fact, Rick's a big part of Platos.pro. He's a large percentage owner, and he's also our manufacturer in Pomona, California, and Mars Automation. And we met through football at East Los Angeles College. I was up on watching a game with headphones on, conveying information, and Rick was next door to me filming the game. And it took about the third game to realize that the headphones didn't have any batteries in it. So I think it was just a nice gesture to let me come out and pretend like I'm doing something. But it was a great meeting, and we're kind of becoming buddies now. And I'm so glad he's a major part of Platos.pro and what we're doing.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't ask for a better guy or better partner, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. What's up with the name Rick, man? It's a popular name within Platos.
Yes, we got Richard Brown, Rick Santillan, and matter of fact, Ricardo Santillan, and my legal name is Ricardo Gamboa. So I'm Coach, he's Rick, and the other one's Brownie. Then we got a fourth partner, which is Oscar, but we're going to change his name pretty soon.
So we got Richard to the third power, right?
There you go.
Oh man, but yeah, no, hey, it's a pleasure, man, and we got so you got some big things with Platos, man. And before we get into Platos, you're an inventor. You've been an inventor since the early '90s, mid '90s,
Right.
and talk about some of those early ventures that your early inventions that you maybe kind of played around with.
Right. Well, and one thing your listeners need to be aware that inventing is something it's constant. You're constantly see something that is troublesome, inconvenient, and you kind of say, well, there has to be a better way. And I've always been that way. When I was a kid, we would break things on purpose so I could use the wood or use the door to make go karts, and so you kind of look at things that happen around you, and you create something to make it easier, more convenient. And that's kind of what happened. I was coaching at Cal State Northridge, CSUN, the home of the Mighty Matadors.
That's right. That's right.
And I had two sons, and they were going on t-ball for the first time. And I'm coaching in Valley, and they're practicing t-ball in Alhambra. And as a young father, I'm all excited. So as soon as we finish practice, I'm flying to go from the San Fernando Valley to Alhambra in San Gabriel Valley. And there's a 3-hour practice on t-ball, on hitting, because there's one tee, one bat, and one ball. And I go, God, there has to be a freaking better way. Look at all this fence. Put something on a fence and just let them hit it, and bingo. That was the inspiration. So lo and behold, I created a jig that would fit on a fence with a stem that would stick out with a cable and a ball, and you would hook it and face the fence. You would hit it. It would go around and stop it. Hit it, go around and stop it. And I go, hey, that's pretty good. So I called it the Striker. Realized that there's some potential in it. And that was my first invention. Spent a lot of money on patents. Didn't realize what I was doing. Made a ton of mistakes. Became an assembler. In my garage, me and my compadre Art Noriega, we're putting it in boxes. We're putting it together. This is before Xerox copies. So mimeograph, the instructions, and we went to a show at the Anaheim Convention Center, set up a Mickey Mouse little banner, took the fence from my backyard, which was a chain link fence, went to a welder. He made me a little stand, took my fence, put it on the stand next to the banner, and we attached the Striker, and it looked decent, and we sold it.
Wow.
And we had some coaches that were really good at softball, and from UCLA, and Fullerton at the time was very prominent in softball. And a guy named Larry Bouchette from Hollywood Bases approached me. He goes, hey, this is kind of interesting idea. I'm from Hollywood Bases. Give me this card. And being a young inventor, I was scared shitless. I go, this guy's going to come in. He's going to take my invention. And so he goes, we could probably do something with that. I go, yeah, you want to take it, He goes, no, we could make it a lot easier. We're already out there. Our catalogs is before the internet. And so I was really fearful that he was going to come and steal it. And it's very first show, very first outing. And to promote our product, we would go to baseball and softball tournaments and do our little setup. And we would run into Larry. After a while, we would run into into the local bar or restaurant where they had cold beverages of assorted type.
Yeah, of course.
And after a while, through many conversations, I felt comfortable and realized that, you know what, I could trust this guy. So I did a license agreement. And that's where you license your product to a company and they take over. And whatever they sell, they give you back a royalty every 3 months. Okay. And that was my very first royalty venture.
Wow.
But I had to go through a lot of loopholes, a lot of mistakes, ton of mistakes. Didn't know anything about manufacturing. I'm not an engineer. I don't have an engineering background. So thinking that just because you have a good idea and you have a good imagination, that things are done very easily, and they're not.
Uh-huh.
And one of my partners is Rick Santillan from Mars Automation, and that's what he does for a living. He
Yeah.
invents machines
Exactly.
that create product. As a matter of fact, one of your lights here, he invented the machine
Right.
that created that light.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
and so you learn that there's people that are experts in certain areas, and you got to bring them along. And so I've been fortunate enough to get to know people and have them buy into what we're trying to do.
Exactly. Oh, that's great, man. And prior to that, though, Rick, were you that kid, or in your maybe childhood and your adolescent years, or were you that kid that growing up that always kind of like would take things apart? Or did you have that spirit of invention back then, or was it something that came along with that particular incident with your
Yeah.
kids?
Um, yes. I was kind of fortunate. I was always able to draw stick people pretty well, so I had a little bit of ability to draw. So I could look at something or imagine something and draw it. So that always helped. But I didn't take things apart. But as people out there, your viewers, your listeners, know that somewhere in their house or in their experience, they've come up and created a gizmo. I
Yeah.
was great as a gizmo guy. So if something didn't snap or didn't stay up or didn't turn on, my dad would say, "Hey, Ricky, come over here and do a gizmo." And so I was fortunate. I kind of learned at a really early age. I also learned not to wear rubber gloves when you're dealing with electricity and
Exactly.
turn things off. And that was my first perm that I got because back in the 70s. But yeah, it was always something that I was. It came easy to me. Look at a problem and try to find a solution. And then later on in junior high, I was already playing Pop Warner football. There was a young new teacher named Mr. Ybarra, and he looked pretty well fit, and he looked like a football player. And I approached him. I think I was in the 7th grade, and said, "Did you play football?" And he goes, "Yeah, by the way, I did." And we talked. And he goes, "Well, what do you teach?" And he said, "We've started a new course, drafting." I go, "What the hell's drafting?" And so he explained. So I took the course.
Mm-hmm.
And so with him, I learned not only could I draw something, from a conceptual point, but then I could now measure and use different tools to make it more precise. And so I was pretty good at drafting, and he kept saying, be an engineer, be an engineer. So somewhere in the good Lord put a little engineering background in me.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I should have been an engineer, but it helped. So as you go through life, there's different experiences that you go through, and it's like you keep putting it in your basket, and you can rely and use them later on. And so I've been fortunate enough to be able to do that. And so when I started coming up with ideas like for the striker, I did a ton of drawings. I went to people that could put it together. I didn't have any tools. I wasn't a welder, and so when you go to someone who knows what they're doing, he goes, "Well, don't do it that way. What if we do it this way?"
Right.
And so then you start to look at what they're doing. So yeah, I was a tinkerer, but for more like gizmos.
I see.
So we had a lot of gizmos in our house. Thing broke, make a gizmo.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. And to date, how many inventions would you say you have under your belt?
Inventions, I think I'm at 14.
Okay.
And one thing, inventions are, all inventors think their ideas are going to make $1 million. That was no different. And that's not going to happen. Some inventions are really good, and they have their niche, and they're going to do well. And in a little while, we'll maybe talk a little bit more of how I'm pushing Platos and trying to get that to its fullest potential. But you can't try to venture as an entrepreneur, as a coach, and do it half-ass. It's either do it or don't do it. So a lot of my inventions got invented. I got the patents. I got the trademarks. I got the copyrights.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't put the time to go forward, they're just a piece of paper that you can put on the wall. But I was fortunate. I was my first invention went to Hollywood Bases, and they eventually got bought out by a company called what?
Yeah,
Okay, let me get the other side.
it's okay. Uh,
How's that?
that should be okay. That's okay.
Okay,
Um, how do we pull the? Can he?
You need.
is that good?
Yeah.
Put this a little more further over here. Back right there. Yeah.
Pretty soon you see, just take it off.
No.
Okay.
No. The thing
Is
is
that better?
That's all right. Yeah, that's fine.
Are
Okay.
we still rolling?
Yeah, we're still rolling. Oh no
All
worries.
right. See, my dad would say, "Make a gizmo,
Yeah. See,
budgie."
speaking of inventions, right?
Right.
Okay. There we go. Now we're good. All right. That's what happens sometimes during an interview, but
Yeah. There you
you
go.
roll with the punches and then you move on, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
So anyway, like I was saying,
Yeah,
Hollywood Bases got bought out by Shut Sports.
Okay.
You football guys out there would know
Oh,
what
Shut.
a Shut.
Yeah.
They're famous for their football helmets, baseball helmets, and portable basketball rims. That's how they made their name. They were extending their baseball line,
Uh-huh.
and
Get closer.
there goes my patent. And it was interesting
Oh.
because Hollywood Bases wanted to expand their product line, and they approached me saying, "Hey, we got your baseball. Can you make us something in tennis along the same line?" So I created a tennis striker, and it looked really good. And they were going to start promoting. And then they get bought out, and my license went with them. But then a few weeks later, Shut Sports contacted us. He goes, "We don't deal with tennis." So you can take your tennis product back.
Jeez.
So, but that's the way it goes. So, Shut. Matter of fact, I had a license agreement for 22 years. So, every 3 months you get a check, and it was kind of nice. Um, but that was the start of that. And once a patent ends, and there goes your license agreement. But I own the trademark
Okay.
of Striker and the logo, the screaming ball.
Oh,
So I
okay.
told them, "Hey, well, you're still using my name and my logo," and so they paid me for another 2 years. They weren't making a lot of money, but a little something. And then after 2 years, they said, "Well, you know what? We don't want to pay you anymore." So they changed the name.
Oh.
Okay, but right now, if you go on Amazon or anywhere else, just type in Striker 2, and there's my product.
Okay.
Even though they're not using it or marketing it, because there's name recognition.
It's STRY or STRI?
I with an I.
I can't.
Yeah, it's called the Striker 2. And it's still made by Shut Sports.
Okay.
But kind of with Platos, we want to brand the name Platos plates, and so that way there's a direct connection from our product to the name. So when people say Platos, eventually, down in the future, they can relate the name to the product, and that's where we're at, just at the very beginning, and
For sure.
baby steps.
No, absolutely, Rick. As an inventor, though, Rick, yeah, like you mentioned, you invent you put your best foot forward for every invention, everything that you're doing, like you mentioned, you're in 100%, or if you're not, then why bother, right?
Exactly.
You think about inventors like famous one, Thomas Edison.
Right.
Had over, I don't know, 1,000 something I think patents or inventions. I'm not
Right.
sure. Uh, what do you think is key? What have you found for yourself to be key when, as an inventor? Uh, One thing that you must have, one thing that you must include in any invention uh, before you get your before you go into it. You know,
Right.
what's key for what have you found that's key?
Um, Really good question. Really, really, really good. And it's really the essence of being an inventor, someone who's creative. First of all, you got to find a problem. There has to be an inconvenience, a problem that people are facing, and there you come up with something that says this could make it easier. So, as one, what is that problem, and what did you what are you what have you or what will you create to make people's lives easier? Next is it out there? You got to do your research. Patent searches are can be done. You could go to any major library that has a patent library and
Uh,
research it. You could do it online, but an individual patent search is very limited based on patent attorneys who that's all they do all day because they'll look at places you never thought of.
oh,
So it's not creating a weight that happens to be flat. It's any weight, anything that happens to be flat that's round with a middle opening. And so people will look, their searches are too narrow. So at some point, if you feel there's a problem, you recognize a problem, you think you have a solution, you think that solution is can solve that problem, make people's lives easier. Okay, what's out there? What's the competition?
yeah.
Once you recognize competition, I mean, going to the stores, I can't tell you how many times I've gone to stores, sporting goods stores, warehouses, distributors, home goods, you name it, anywhere that's similar to my product, just to
Uh,
look at what's out there. And that's you got to see it, and you go, oh shoot, it's already out there. And by the way, this their idea is better than mine. So once you think you no problem. You think you have a problem, a solution for that problem, and through your research, whether you bring someone on like a patent attorney, or you do the research, and you realize, hey, there's nothing out there that's similar. My solution is unique enough
uh,
to possibly earn a patent or be granted a patent. So okay, that's third stage. Now it's well, I got to make a prototype. And one thing that your viewers need to know, it doesn't have to be a finished prototype. Matter of fact, I brought some
oh yeah.
props here.
Show us absolutely.
When I came up with Platos, my very first Platos was this.
Okay.
I went to a store. I went down to
Yeah.
99-cent store,
Hold it up right here.
okay, and bought a big stack of you know plates
Uh-huh.
of different sizes and glued them together and got an X-Acto knife and make the circle. And this was the very first plato I ever made. And then along came the idea of, well, they should stack. So how do I stack them? Well, there's a second generation.
Oh wow.
So I
This one
bought,
here.
yeah, both. That this would be a bigger plate, and you could then stack another plate on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally the third. So this was a 2.5, the 5, and the 10.
Okay.
And so I go, okay, three different sizes, three different weights. We don't want to get too much bigger. And so you could see you don't need a fancy engineering prototype. It could be, long as you could draw it.
Doing it on paper plates. Yeah.
Exactly. Long as you can draw it and explain, and the layperson can read that description. It's called an abstract. And they could read it and say, oh, yeah, I know what this does. I
Okay.
understand. And then that's enough right there.
And that's where Rick Santiago came into play, right?
No, he came
No?
in much later. Much later. So in the Platos, the way that came about, going along the lines of how did I come up with a niche,
Uh-huh.
or how did I recognize a problem, it was pre-COVID. It's fall of 2019. I'm at ELAC in Fitness Lab, and I'm teaching a weightlifting class, and it's a fitness class, and most of the students are non-lifters.
Okay.
They're just regular students trying to cut down some weight and trying to get in shape, and they're not super strong or real sophisticated people in conditioning and lifting weights.
Fitness and stuff,
Right.
what have you.
So I wanted to introduce them to a really simple dumbbell workout. So I said, okay, go get a dumbbell or a pair of dumbbells.
Mm-hmm.
And the class was around 35 students. And I said, pick something you think you can handle. Don't go too heavy because we're going to do a lot of repetitions. And so some students come back and says, there's no more weights. I go, well, we're in the fitness lab. There's sets of weight. He goes, yeah, but all the dumbbells that are light are gone. They're already being used.
Oh.
So I go, okay, problem. Go to the rack, the squat rack, and get a 2.5, a 5 at the heaviest. Get a 10, and they did, and there was enough weights there.
Okay.
So now they either had a dumbbell, a traditional dumbbell, or they had a weight plate, and so they put it between their fingers because of the hole. And we started, and I'm watching, and I'm realizing, they're having a little difficulty holding it. Some of them were able to hold it really easy. Others were kind of like the plate was too heavy. So I'll go to a 5, get rid of the 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then pretty soon they're doing the workout. And I thought at the end of the day, I thought, wow, this is pretty cool. He goes, on the way home, I'm thinking, yeah, that's kind of dangerous. They're holding it with 2 fingers. They're thick. It could fall. Man, they should make a hole with a plate with a bigger hole. Bingo.
Oh.
There you go. Okay.
So this is on your way home, literally.
You're literally
the wheels are turning
from that day.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, the bigger hole, well, it has to be a hole that you can stick your whole hand in. You can't make it too big because then you have the weight too big.
Right.
The diameter of the weight got to be bigger. So we could cut away, and that's how
Okay, there we go.
That's where I came up with that.
So you came home right away.
Found that, and exactly.
Yeah.
And then one thing led to another. So it was a Monday, Wednesday class. Okay.
Go ahead.
So on the next class session, I go, we're going to do the same way. See if you guys understood it. And go get the dumbbells, go get the plates. But I videotaped it. So in our website, platospro.com, write that down, platospro.com, where it says about us on the menu.
Okay.
It has his story.
Oh.
And I actually have the videotape of that first session ever, or the second session ever.
Okay.
And I videotaped it. And I looked at it and analyzed it. I go, okay, bigger hole, that's great. And then I started thinking, wow, it's pretty thick. What if we made them thinner? And then you could stack them, and then right away start cutting out, making those little samples. I go, that's kind of cool. Then I thought, well, now, someone's going to get lazy. They're not going to squeeze it enough, and now it's going to fall on their toe, and now I'm being sued. So I go, but if there's a way to lock them together while you're holding them, and just the pressure of the hand keeps them in place. So once again, it's a progression that you go through. And, I've been fortunate enough that you go to people, ask questions, and find out how to do it. And so that's how the first start.
Okay.
So I went to an engineer.
Okay.
That was referred to me. And he's a mechanical engineer. And he was out of Austin, Texas. And I said, this is my idea. Here's my thoughts here. And I gave him my drawings from drafting class when 7th grader, and was able to, didn't have exact measurements. And he made some CAD drawings with all the details. And then I go, okay, now what do I do with these? I can't go to a manufacturer, too expensive. So I went to Hollywood 3D printing.
Okay.
In Hollywood Boulevard on Melrose, and they made these out of 3D printing, and
nice color, purple.
Yeah. So at that time, I thought the product was going to be perfect for people, particularly women.
Is what you call a prototype then?
That's strictly a prototype.
Okay.
It was 3D printed. So when I would show it, I would grunt a little bit like it was really a 5-pound plate. But here are the 10-pound plates.
Okay.
And so I was able to actually take the concept of cardboard and paper plates into a realistic, functional prototype. And then one thing led to another.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. So from there, where I said, okay, this sounds like a good idea. We know it works. Now we got to make some. And due to another product, I had a broker by the name of Brian Brown in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Okay.
And he deals with overseas Asian companies, whether it's Taiwan, Japan, China, anywhere in the Far East. He deals with manufacturers, and he's kind of like the middleman. I went through him, and he put me in touch with the company who made the next step, and he made these,
Wow.
which are now actual 2.5 pounds. The interlock, we powder coated them because we thought they may, it might be more attractive to be at home, and originally we thought it would be more used for women or really people that are just starting out, sedentary people, rehab people, people that are just starting to walk and maybe jog a little bit, and they want to get into weightlifting,
wheelchair bound and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe have physical limitations.
Right.
Have something that was low impact. People that were rehabilitating themselves through an injury.
Exactly.
And so we thought, hey, this would be good. People that felt intimidated to go into a gym because they're just starting off. They may be overweight and they feel like these people are thin, they're really fit, and here I am. And so the intimidation factor of going to gyms, doing it at home, they can feel comfortable. The other thing is because of COVID, the gyms really suffered. People couldn't go to the gyms. So I thought this would be really good because you have your own weights. You're at home. You're not intimidated. They're space savers. And you can use them really easily. And you can increase the increments very quickly. So we thought all these components were key things to pursuing the invention. So your initial, like, what would make you, what's the process of going, is at each stage you have to learn and really evaluate, should I go to the next stage? And if it's a yes, you're getting really good positive results, positive feedback, the product's getting better. Then you actually get to the point where now you're ready to at least produce the actual thing. And we're at that point.
Okay.
And Platos Pro is where we're at now.
Awesome. And so basically, you have now you've shown us some of the prototypes, the earlier versions of the product. Did you bring along one
Sure. Let me put these aside, create some rooms.
And you own the patent at this point, right?
We're patent pending.
You're patent pending.
But we have multiple patents. My patent attorney, him and I have an agreement. Scott Kelly, one of the best patent attorneys, agencies.
What's his name?
Scott Kelly.
Scott Kelly.
In the West Coast. Just phenomenal office. And they do everything from litigation to applications to patent searches. So
gotcha.
He, when he writes a patent for me, he doesn't write it with a purpose that he's going to have to rehire him to redo the patent. So he writes it with the best possible way so we could get awarded the patents or the claims of the patent the first time around. So I'm really fortunate that he's a godsend. So here's a 2.5. That's a finished Platos. The engineering is incredible. It's a CNC machine that laser cuts it to exact precision. So when we say it's 10 pounds, it's a hair positive or negative away from being 10 pounds. It's solid steel, American-made steel. Every aspect of Platos is made in America. in beautiful Pomona, California,
Okay.
by Mars Automation. And you'll see a couple of things in our advertising. We say Platos is revolutionary, it's concise, and it's practical. The revolutionary part of it is the center hole, from very large hands to very small hands.
Mm-hmm.
And when you hold it, you can hold it like you're holding a grocery bag or your computer bag. Exactly. And exactly the way you're holding it is what we call our gorilla grip.
Okay.
It's a 6-point gorilla grip. You got the 4 fingers, you got the thumb, and you got the palm of your hand holding it.
Gotcha.
Where when you do traditional, where your thumb goes over, you lose a lot of the strength. With a gorilla grip, you can actually press and engage the brachialis muscles and the bicep muscles.
Oh, yeah,
with
technical. I love
it. Right? And so we that's what makes it unique. Also, what makes it unique is you can see the little cutaway.
Yes, right in the middle.
That plate makes Platos compatible with any Olympic plate. So right here we have an Olympic
barbell.
No, it's a dumbbell bar.
Oh, okay.
It's a traditional 2-inch.
Yeah, let's bring that out.
Right here.
Okay.
And so this
attaches,
fits perfectly, and it doesn't slide.
You see that? You see that? Okay.
So now you can use Platos.
Can you use a clip on the other end at the end?
Yeah, just like.
That clip there. I see. Okay. So then we're gonna.
You're gonna put that on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look at that. Oh, that's beautiful.
And so you can see how it interlocks.
Exactly.
Okay.
There we go. Okay, then we use the clip at the end. There it is.
And now you have.
There it is, right there.
So there's no dumbbell or kettlebell in the world by any manufacturer that can do that. So if you're a lifter who really likes Olympic bar, curl bars, or long bars, the thinness of our plates is only 3/8 of an inch. So we've tested this. You could put 15 10-pounders on this side and 15 on that side. That's a 300 plus the bar, 305 pounds on a dumbbell. Now, I don't know who in the hell is going to lift that, but the ability to, because its thinness, its conciseness, allows people or users to put more weight, and it's centered. And you're a lifter, through your football days and lifting days.
I still lift.
Yeah, I lift a lot of aluminum cans. I'm telling you. But once you start getting the really heavy lifting, you get the big bumper plates, the 45 pounders. They're almost 3 inches thick.
Yes, they are.
And pretty soon you could only go so far.
Right.
And now the bar's bending. What we could do is you could put one bumper plate.
Sorry.
Is that good?
Yeah. There we go.
All right.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Rick.
No. That's fine. You could take one bumper plate, put it on the inside of your 45-pound Olympic bar, long bar.
Right.
And then put as many Platos.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And that way the weight is centered, and you're not worried about this on the lifting. You're more worried about being centered and full range of motion.
Yeah, you can concentrate on your lift.
Exactly, versus balance.
Exactly.
So Platos, in its heaviest, allows heavy lifters to add more weight and to have it be more centered versus the big bumper plates. Now, I wouldn't say put only Platos and do deadlifts because you're gonna wreck the floor or whatever. But if you put a bumper plate first, it could even be a 10-pound bumper plate. You then put your Platos. Now you get the benefit of it being centered, being able to concentrate on the lifts, not so much of the lateral movement. And so we're the only plates that can double as dumbbells, kettlebells, and go on an Olympic bar.
Wow. So you don't even have to put this on a bar. You could just use the
So
use it like I said, like a kettle swing or
So
a kettlebell. There you go. So Rick, you
Let me
don't.
put this down. Oops.
That's all right. So you can attach that. You can use a traditional plate, right? Weight plate, and then you can add this on the end. Is that am I understanding
Yes.
that correctly?
Yes.
Or you
It's
can just
funny.
or you can use this exclusively on the bar.
Right. So this is a 10.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a 5. Here's 2.5. So you can lift a 10-pound plate, and
Mm-hmm.
we call this our drop grip.
Okay.
Drop it behind, let it fall behind, let it fall back like this.
Oh.
There you go. So it's in your palm.
Uh-huh.
Now you can do anything that's vertical.
Okay.
You can do
can
pulls. Any. There's not the only exercise that you can't do with Platos is putting it on the floor, being in a push-up position, and then being able to roll it, grab it, and pull it because it's flat.
I see.
But that's about the only thing. Other than that, I haven't seen, and I'm constantly looking, a movement that Platos can replicate.
Wow.
So here's a 10-pound, and we like to say one of the first things we said revolutionary,
Right.
and then we said concise, and so concise means we could save space, 3/8 of an inch, so we can lay that flat. Let's lay it flat.
Okay.
Here's a 5.
All right.
We like to say place it, twist it, lift it. It's as easy as
wow.
1, 2, 3.
It locks in place.
Right.
Interlocks. Oh, look at that. That's nice.
Now you put your hand in between.
Okay.
There you go. You use your gorilla grip. Good.
Okay, and you can curl it if you want.
Curl it. You could do skull crushers. You name it.
Yeah, skull crushers.
Yep.
Can you see that?
I would drop it this way. So you could,
Or okay. Wow, it's okay. Or yeah, there you go.
There you go.
And you've at this point I think you've attended a couple of events, right, to promote Platos Platos.
Well, we did one event. It was the Joe Wheatley's Mr. and Mrs. Muscle Beach bodybuilding contest in Venice Beach, California.
Okay.
And we took a booth, and we were there not to sell Platos, but just to introduce it. And Joe Wheatley was kind enough to let us go and speak to his audience and explain what Platos is.
Oh, very cool.
And it was a packed crowd, a good audience, and super receptive. A lot of the competitors, weightlifting, bodybuilding competitors, came by, and we have video of them using it, and it's astounding. And we got tons of calls by them going on PlatosPro.com.
PlatosPro.com. There it is.
It's on the banner somewhere.
Yeah,
right
behind you, huh?
There you go. And we said we're not ready to sell. We're still tweaking it, getting things ready. Right now, we're really concentrating on our packaging. The manufacturing is done. We have everything we need.
Okay.
Now we're talking about how we're going to brand it. So every plate has its branding, and we want it to look professional. We want people to take pride in what we deliver, but what they receive. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
But what they receive.
Yes.
So that we're right around the corner. Next thing, here you go. You put the 2.5. So you've gone from a 10-pound dumbbell, a 5-pound dumbbell, a 2.5-pound dumbbell, to a 15 to a 17.5.
17.5.
If I put a 10-pound plate, it'll be 27.5.
You could add that.
You 10? Could add that, absolutely.
On this side, or it would be on this side.
Yeah, it would go on that side.
Yeah. Okay.
So very easily you can increase the increments in 2.5. There's only one company that I know of, and that's I believe it's Rogue that has dumbbells. Put it this way. Give another example. Rogue that has dumbbells in increments of 2.5.
Okay.
Now we are a premium product, meaning it's not going to be cheap. It's not overly priced, but people are going to say, wow, am I only going to get 6 plates, 2 10s, 2 5s, 2 2.5s?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's kind of expensive just for 2 plates. So we bundle. We have 3 bundles that we feel can address all the different audiences. We have a mini bundle of 15 pounds,
Okay.
2.5s, 2.5s.
Gotcha.
Okay, and then our home bundle, which is 2.5s, 2.5s, 2.10s for 35 pounds. And then the Pro bundle for more advanced lifters, same thing, 2.5s, 2.5s, 4.10s, 55 pounds. What they're buying in a mini with just 4 plates, they'll go, God, that's only 4 plates. No, you're buying a pair of 2.5 pounds, a pair of 5s, a pair of 7.5s. That's 6 dumbbells that you would have to go buy and have on your floor.
Right.
Then you can put the 2.5s together. You have a 10 pound. The 2.5, you got a 12.5, and then you have a 15. So you're buying 9 dumbbells.
Yeah.
Where you would have to go buy the individual dumbbells
Exactly.
to bring them in. Then if you get kettlebells, you have to go buy the kettlebells.
Right.
And if you want the weights for your bar, now you have to go get the plates.
Exactly.
Our Platos does all 3.
So you got 3 exactly. You got 3 different
components or uses.
Mm-hmm.
You can take it, do your dumbbell exercises, come get them, do your kettlebell exercises, and then say, okay, now I'm gonna crank out and I'm gonna put on my curl bar and I'm gonna do some supersets with my curl bar. And that's what you're buying. You're buying the convenience to be able to do that. Second, we said convenience, concise. You could put the whole set, you could put our Pro set of 55 pounds, put them under your bed. Put them in the closet. Put in the corner of your dorm or your office.
There you go.
Be able to put it in the trunk of your car. They come with a bag, and here's our bag.
Oh, okay, there it is. Nice.
And there's 4 pockets to the bag.
It's the handle and the strap.
The handle and the strap. Pockets to insert. The outside pockets to insert the 2.5s and the 5s.
These come with each bundle, right?
Each bundle.
One bag.
And the inside pocket to put your 10s.
Okay.
And
wow, look at that.
Yeah, so now it's portable. Where you want to go work out.
You got the camo.
Yeah, there you go.
Camo look. You got green by any chance? No. So 2 colors thus far, right?
Okay. Thus far. We may be able to change the
nice sturdy. Look at that.
Yes. The only thing we're working on is getting a thicker material to make it more durable.
Platos Pro, and that's the logo, the official logo as well.
That's our official logo.
There it is.
Has even the little cutaway for the Olympic bar.
Nice. Made in America. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's everything you want made in America.
Yeah.
So the convenience is our Pro bundle of 4.10s, 2.5s, 2.5s.
Mm-hmm.
When you stack them, is only 11 by 11 inches by 3 inches. And you can make all the multiples up to 55 pounds and 27.5 pounds.
Wow.
And so that's what people are buying. That's what they need to know. They can get rid of all their dumbbells, all their kettlebells, all their small free weights, and the bundle or the Platos does it all. We did the show that in 4th of July, and we got some great footage, and Rick Santillan is our videographer, you name it. He's our media guy. That's
man of many hats.
And so we took a lot of film and we posted some of them on YouTube and Instagram, and Facebook, and YouTube. And we got a response. He goes, I see a lot of broken nails and bruised knuckles in your future. 2 thumbs down. Don't buy this. So I look at that and I go, wait a minute. Oh. So I created a video, like literally, as soon as I saw that, I called my wife in, and I could do it with this. I had her. I put a 2.5 on the ground. Let me, so that way people can relate to the video.
Demonstrate it.
I told her she has beautiful nails. She takes pride in her nails, and she's sliding all over because it is absolutely flush and flat.
Yes. And
this is only 2.5 pounds, and it's sliding. I go, you can break your nails.
Okay.
Trying to lift a plate when it's on the ground, but Platos already thought of that. And I flip it, and my wife goes,
"There you go."
So, for these ladies that have these gorgeous nails that they pay a ton of money.
Right.
You know, all they got to do is put the Platos face down.
With the, what do you call these?
We call those our pegs.
Pegs face
Yep,
down.
face down.
So now you have a leverage and
there you go. And so, you know, I mentioned earlier that you got to think as you go along, you come up with different components that you can make your product better.
absolutely.
And so that was one of the things we wanted to make it safe. We wanted to make it durable.
Mhm.
We want to make it concise. We want to make it user friendly, and we wanted to not discourage someone from using them. Okay.
Absolutely. No, I love it, man. Like you mentioned, I've been an avid weightlifter myself for many years, and I see the convenience factor, the portability, the just the effect, how effective they can be. Absolutely.
How did it feel in your hand when you had the 15 pounds?
Oh yeah, it feels comfortable. Yeah, and especially this middle indentation here, right, where it just fits perfectly in the hand.
Mm-hmm.
It's a natural feel.
Right.
Yeah. No, this is really, really, really interesting. Really cool.
And most of the things we do in life when we grasp things are usually kind of a gorilla grip. You know,
Right.
Women when they carry their purses, and you know, and some of those purses are a hell of a lot heavier than our Platos with everything we put in there.
Exactly.
Our groceries, you know, our computer bag.
Laptop.
The other thing is the fact that they're portable.
Mm-hmm.
You can put in a bag, and now you're not restricted to doing your lifting where all your dumbbells and all your equipment are. You can put them in your bag, go to the beach, go to the park, wherever you want. Go outside near the pool,
living room,
go on
whatever.
the grass, you know, move it around, go to the garage. They're so concise, you can put Platos in your garage and still park your car in the garage. You know, most home lifters, you know, they bring all their equipment.
You got the bench, you got the rack, you got
let's get rid of this car. That doesn't need to be here.
Yes.
So you could actually park your car with Platos in the garage.
Are you at a point now where it's ready to at the final phase of it, or you still have to make some tweaks here?
From a manufacturing, we're literally in the final stages. We think we have a pretty good solution for branding. And Rick Santillan from Mars Automation came up with, you know, he's really a creative guy.
Oh, he is.
And so we think we have a really good solution. We're going to do a cutaway in shape of our logo. He then put a plate that fits that silk screen, and it's flush the face of the plate.
Gotcha.
And so now, the other thing I want to point out is we talked about user-friendly, and there's an problem in putting the plates together.
Mm-hmm.
There is literally a right and a left side.
Oh, okay.
So you could see that the 10 pounds, the pegs are here, and they're opposite here and opposite here.
Oh, yes.
So originally we said, okay, we'll distinguish a right and a left with the pegs. We have a black peg and a gray peg. And we'll tell people, as long as you put a gray with a black, a gray with a black, or a black with a gray, you're cool.
Okay.
You can stack it in any configuration.
Oh, I see.
But after using the plates as demos and showing them people, eventually the coating of the black started to rub off.
Okay.
And so through time, it's gonna be great.
I see.
So now people aren't going to differentiate. So we need a better way, a more visual way. And you Raider people, you're going to love us. Because our solution was come up with a black plating, which people love, and come up with a silver plating. And matter of fact, the silver we see here is not the actual zinc white plating that we're going to put, but it's silver.
Okay.
And so now the distinction is, as long as you put silver and black or black and silver in any combination, you're cool.
I see.
Okay. And so now visually, it's a lot easier. If you want to go, you're somewhere and you're looking, okay, I need a 5, and you got a silver 10, you know, you got to look for the black 5.
I see.
And once again,
I see.
Place it, twist it, lift it.
And then the next one would be silver.
Right.
Which is right there.
Right here.
Exactly.
And place it, twist it,
There it is.
lift it, and so you get that combination. It looks really industrial. It looks good in your room. You can take pride in how it fits. We think the color combination lends itself to the fitness world, to the weightlifting world. We had on 4th of July, because we initially thought that Platos was going to be for at home, for people starting off, and it is. It's absolutely perfect for that.
Mm-hmm.
That was originally the reason it was created. But then we said, well, really heavy lifters, they're not, they're going to look at this, that's another toy. That's not for heavy people. Heavy lifters, really dedicated lifters, strong people.
Right.
And so then at the 4th of July show, we hosted a contest, a 100-pound. As a matter of fact, we used the bar we just showed.
Okay.
The Olympic curl bar, and we put 100 pounds, all of Platos. And we said 30 seconds, see how many you can lift. And guys would look at it and say, and first guy I think made like 7. He goes, oh shit, that's pretty freaking heavy.
And then they were curling them?
No, they were doing it from ground to rib on a 1-arm row.
Okay, the rows.
So hand on your knee.
Yes.
And lift it. If you go to our webpage at platospro.com,
that's right.
You can see the video of the actual. And so we got to a point where it's almost at the end of the day, and we said, hey, time's up at 2:00. It's over, and we're going to give away a free set of Platos. And here comes a guy and a little older gentleman, but well built, a good looking guy. He goes, I think I could try it. And his son was competing as a bodybuilder.
Okay.
And he kept encouraging, come on, Dad, you can do it, you can do it. So he did. And I think at that point, it was like 23 lifts in 30 seconds.
Okay.
And this gentleman bends down. His name was Scott Puter, Putor, I think, out of Sacramento.
Okay.
A strong guy, power lifter guy. Shirt's kind of loose, so really didn't realize how strong it is. He bends down, puts his hand on his knee, and just cranks 27. 27, 30 seconds. And everybody's just like, holy moly. And now he's one of our biggest endorsers. He goes, I never thought this thing would feel so comfortable, but so practical. And he's taking it to his gym. He's waiting for his set to come in, be delivered, so he could show it to people. He's really thought it's an incredible. And this guy been a power lifter all his life.
Wow.
And
how much weight was that he was repping?
100 pounds.
100 pounds.
And the video shows that.
Okay, yeah. But
cranking it out, yeah. Wow. Scott, an incredible individual and now a big endorser.
Wow, this is incredible, Rick. I mean, what you've done, what you've thought of, I mean, with your whole team. Congratulations to all of you guys for what you're doing. And again, man, I see the benefit. I see the, how you said the practicality of it, and it's portable. All the benefits, all the pros, and everything you mentioned, man. And it's an honor. Yeah. It's an honor to be here and to introduce the product and to help you promote it. And what are you most proud about at this point with everything that's gone on with Platos? What are you most proud about it, Rick?
I'm really, really super proud on how it functions. The precise, the engineering, the laser cutting. We have it's not molded. It's not die cast. It's a solid piece of American man-made training equipment product that we're proud of. I'm proud of the fact that it has multitude of uses by different populations, from the elderly who just want something to walk with, or something they could just do because of an injury or lack of mobility. Yeah. Proud to that mothers with their children and their chaotic schedule can use it. That someone that's in office who's really fit doesn't have to worry about, oh my God, I got to be away from my wife and my kids, and because I want to go to the gym to work out. They could work out in their office.
Absolutely.
So I'm proud of being able to provide something. Literally tomorrow, I have an appointment with the Monterey Park Fire Department.
Ooh.
We live in Monterey Park,
Right.
and the firefighters, they have to stay in shape cardiovascularly, strength wise. It's not a job that you can get in and
No.
pass the test and just slack off.
No.
They got to be fit.
Yes.
And I looked at their fitness, and they have in their stations have very limited space, and we think we can make a big impact in keeping them strong, keeping them fit, and and having the convenience to do it at their station and maximize it. So those are things I'm really proud of. We put together another thing. I mentioned you got to put in the time, and I recently retired from teaching in fall in spring, June of
Congratulations.
2021. Thank you. After 26 years of teaching at the community college level and teaching at the university level at Cal State Northridge,
There you go.
and coaching, I coached 42 years.
Wow.
2021 was my last year of coaching at ELAC under the leadership of Bobby Godinez.
Shout out to Coach G. Yeah.
Yes, Los Altos guy.
Yeah.
And
Conquer.
and so I was able to coach a really talented group of young men, and they all went. I had 5 guys go Division I just for my guys.
Nice.
And so it was really rewarding, and it gave me something to do after I retired. But I was pursuing Platos, and I realized if this thing is going to go for it to reach the fullest potential, I need to devote all my time. So I told Bobby I'm not coming back. I'll go on Saturday and be the get back guy.
Behind the line,
get behind the line, pull on his headphones. But that's about it. And I'm not a business guy. I mean, I don't have a business background. So in doing so and talking to Rick Santillan, I asked him to come aboard to be a part of the team of Platos. Our name is Platos.pro, but we use the website as platospro.com.
Gotcha.
So you may see Platos.pro somewhere, LLC, name of the company, but platospro.com is our website. And because he has the audio-visual component, he's a photographer, he's a videographer, he's an editor. Yeah. He understands that. He did that for you guys at Los Altos.
Yes.
And so he has that knowledge, and he's a really creative person. As a matter of fact, I got to give it to you. To promote, we're going to come up with business cards, and we offer this to you.
Oh, man.
It's a mini Platos.
Look at that.
With our website on it, platospro.com.
Sweet.
But it's a bottle opener.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, and so
thank you very
obviously
much.
For Coca-Cola and Sprite and
yeah,
all,
yeah.
Yeah. Modelo, I don't know if it works on Modelo.
We'll have to wait.
Dos Equis, but we could test it out.
Yeah, we'll have to test it out.
Yeah. So he came up with that idea from a marketing standpoint.
Nice.
A miniature Platos.
It's beautiful.
But it's great. And while I'm at it,
thank you very much.
You viewers, I was blessed by receiving a Pro Pot hat, and so we're giving you a Platos shirt.
Look at that.
And
got the logo,
and it's a size medium, perfect for your size.
Oh, perfect.
Medium. I didn't want to go too big with the large, so I got you a medium.
Appreciate you. Oh man,
a rather large, exaggerated medium.
No, I appreciate you, Rick. Look at that. You got the stack on the back.
There you go.
Backside. Look, you get a shot of that. Oh, nice. Got a shot of that. Platos Pro, made in America. Platospro.com. Thank you very much, Rick. Oh man, this is great.
Appreciate that.
Thank you. That's awesome.
And
man.
just to finish up, and because you're limited, we brought along two other members of our team, and one thing I've learned is that as much as you got to humble yourself, because as creative and talented as you think you are, you can't do it all.
No.
And even if you could do it all, you don't have the time or the energy to do it all. So you got to bring people that you trust people that believe in your charge and what your focus is and what your aims are, your goals are, and bring them along and guide them. One thing about leadership is, you got to observe, you got to listen, and you got to ask questions
Yes.
rather than telling, do this, do that. So I've learned that. So we brought on Oscar Sanchez, who's our website e-commerce guy.
Okay.
He's building our website, anything with our web design, adjustments, design. He's our guy. And then we brought in Richard Brown, a guy that's also retired, lives in Vegas, a guy that I work with. And most of his career as a community college employee, he was an administrator. He ran things. He took, he had budgets.
Yes.
He knew the ins and outs of budgets and all that. So we brought him to do our B-commerce, the business part. So right now we have a 4-member team. We think we have a team that have expertise in areas that they feel comfortable in, and they can help us learn. So it's important that you surround yourself with people who can help you grow and learn. I've learned so much from just Oscar about, I didn't know how to do TikTok. And I knew how to watch it and scroll through it, but how to upload and download and how to train it. So we're learning.
Yeah.
And so it's important that our team, Platos.pro LLC, is a team that's working hand in hand. They got to work together. And we're putting forth an effort. We're worth not much, on paper, that we're working as though we're a big corporation, because that's ultimately what we want to be. We want to prove that this is a concept that we can grow, that we can scale it up to other parts. We got a caddy that's patented to be able to hold these. We have other patents that I've gotten that have been awarded. And so instead of trying to throw everything all at once, baby steps.
For sure.
Let's get this done. Let's introduce it. Let's make sure we find out all the pitfalls through our people, and even our team needs to go out and learn from others. Absolutely. And use other people's expertise. So surrounding yourself with people that can help you grow and are willing to believe in your vision and put forth the effort. And I think that's really important for anybody considering venturing out, opening up a restaurant, doing whatever it may be. Surround yourself with good people.
That's a absolutely great advice, Rick. And no, like I said, it's an honor, and to be here during the initial stages of Platos Pro, and to help you promote. I'm looking forward to seeing the progression as we move forward in time. And before we wrap things up, Rick, I know you mentioned PlatosPro.com is the website. What is some other platforms where they can connect? People can connect with Platos Pro, social media, anything else?
We're building up a library of videos on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook.
All Platos Pro?
All Platos Pro. And for our website, if you haven't heard it, PlatosPro.com. They can go to the menu and then click on the icon for either YouTube. I think my dog just came down the stairs.
I think that was my
Oh, okay.
Foot there.
And any of the platforms and view our stuff. And we're creating, eventually we want to scale where we're going to be able to have training videos for different segments of the population. Okay. So housewives, people that might be obese, sedentary people just starting off, and segment body parts. And so we're just an infant right now.
We're scratching the surface right now. Yes,
but eventually, we hope to eventually, when they buy a set of Platos, be able to click it for 30 days is our goal. They have the library that we're building. And then after that, they could subscribe and be able to watch them anytime for as long as they want.
Beautiful, beautiful. I don't know. We may have touched on this. What's the timetable for you guys to go live with the product?
We 2 weeks, 3 weeks,
Oh, okay. We're
maybe
talking
3 weeks.
this month, August.
Yeah, our biggest thing is packaging right now, and branding.
Okay.
We want a brand that's not going to fall off. It's not going to scrape. It's not going to fade. It's not going to peel.
Right.
We want them to be as durable. These platos will be around when we're no longer around.
Exactly.
You know,
Gotcha.
and the only thing we would say, if you're going to take them out, cover them up because they're solid steel, and the word caliente comes in mind. So just like any piece of metal, leave it out in the sun. It's going to be ouch.
Yeah.
So make sure you just put a simple blanket or put in the shade, and you're fine.
Or put them in your
And put it in the bag.
in the bag, right?
You know, once take the bag, pull out your platos, put your cell phone, your wallet, you know, your keys in there. You're safe. Everything is self-contained.
These are cool. Yeah, I like this. No, Rick, thanks again. I appreciate you. It's been a pleasure being here and learning about the company and Platos, the product. Big shout out to Rick Santiago once again, and the rest of your team, Oscar, Rich, and everybody else, man.
Absolutely.
Like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing where Platos goes, and thank you once again for the gifts. And
thank you on behalf of our team at Platos Pro LLC. We thank you for the opportunity. We hope your viewers may have questions. They can go on our website, ask the questions.
Yep.
Once our website will post the pictures of the platos, then we'll be up and running.
Okay.
Everything's set, but once we post the pictures of the finished product with everything, we're set. We're logistical things, but so we hope we could provide a product that they feel safe and useful, and they feel their investment is worth it, and we feel that we provided something that's of use and make people's lives easier. And we thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Rick. And that's health is wealth, right?
Yes.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have Rick Gamboa of Platos Pro or Platos.pro LLC. And